The Sodder family. The family was headed by George Sodder and his wife, Jenny Sodder. George had immigrated from Italy and built a successful trucking business in West Virginia. Together they had 10 children. On the night of the tragedy, 9 were home. The 5 children who disappeared were Maurice Sodder, 14, Martha Sodder, 12, Louis Sodder, 9, Jenny Irene Sodder, 8, Betty Sodder, 5. 5 other family members survived. On December 24, 1945, the Sodder home was filled with the excitement of Christmas. The younger children begged their mother to stay up late playing with their new toys. Eventually, Jenny went upstairs to bed around 10 p.m., leaving a few of the older children awake. At 12:30 a.m., Jenny woke up suddenly. She noticed the house was unusually quiet. The lights downstairs were still on. Curtains were open. The front door was unlocked. She turned everything off and went back to sleep. But minutes later, a strange sound woke her again, something hitting the roof. Around 1 a.m., Jenny smelled smoke. When she rushed out of bed, she saw flames pouring through George's office downstairs. The fire spread incredibly fast. George shouted for the children and tried to gather everyone outside. 4 children escaped with their parents: George Sodder Jr., Marion Sodder, Sylvia Sodder, John Sodder, but 5 children were still upstairs. George tried everything to reach the children. He ran outside to grab a ladder he always kept against the house. It was missing. He tried to start his trucks and drive them close to the house so he could climb on top and reach the window. Both trucks refused to start, even though they had worked perfectly the day before. He tried to climb the wall, but the flames were too intense. Within 45 minutes, the entire house collapsed into ashes. Neighbors tried to call the fire department, but the phone operator couldn't get through. The fire department from Fayetteville did not arrive until 8 a.m., hours after the fire had burned out. When investigators searched the ashes, they made a disturbing discovery. There were no bones from the 5 children. Normally, even intense fires leave some human remains, especially bones. Yet investigators found nothing. Still, officials quickly concluded that the children had died in the fire. A death certificate was issued for all 5 children, but George and Jenny refused to believe it. As the family looked back, they remembered several odd incidents in the weeks before the fire. 1. The man who warned George. A man once came to the house trying to sell insurance. When George refused, the man angrily said, "Your house is going to go up in smoke, and your children are going to be destroyed." George dismissed it at the time. 2. A man examining the fuse box. Another stranger had approached George saying the fuse box was dangerous and could cause a fire. But the house wiring had just been inspected and approved by the power company. 3. A woman's warning. A woman once told Jenny, "Your children are in danger." Jenny thought she was just being strange. The mystery deepens. Weeks after the fire, more strange clues appeared. The phone line was cut. Investigators discovered that the phone line had been cut, not burned by the fire. A witness saw the children alive. A woman who ran a tourist stop said she saw the children the morning after the fire. She said they were traveling with 2 men and 2 women in a car with Florida license plates. A bus driver's story. A bus driver also claimed he saw children matching their description on the road toward Florida. A suspicious object. When George cleared the fire debris himself, he found something strange, a hard rubber object that looked like a hand grenade or firebomb. He believed it was what had struck the roof that night. Remember the loud bang Jenny heard before the fire started? The billboard search. Convinced their children were alive, George and Jenny launched one of the largest private searches in America. They placed a massive billboard along the highway showing the faces of the missing children and offering a reward. Over the years, the reward grew to $10,000, a huge amount at the time. People across the country reported sightings. In 1967, the family received a mysterious letter from Kentucky. Inside was a photograph of a young man who looked strikingly like Louis Sodder, now grown. On the back of the photo was written, "Louis Sodder. I love brother Frankie. Boys. A90132 or 35. No return address." Despite investigations, the man in the photo was never identified. Some believed the children were kidnapped by members of the Italian mafia. George Sodder had strong opinions against Benito Mussolini, the fascist leader of Italy during World War II. Many Italian immigrants supported Mussolini at the time, and George's criticism had caused heated arguments in his community. Some suspect the fire was revenge. The Sodder family continued searching for their children for the rest of their lives. The billboard stayed up for decades. Investigators reopened the case several times, but no conclusive evidence was ever found. Today, the disappearance of the Sodder children remains one of America's most famous unsolved mysteries. The lingering questions. Many mysteries remain. Why were no bones found in the ashes? Who cut the phone line? Why were the trucks sabotaged? Who sent the mysterious photo years later? And most chilling of all, did the children die in the fire, or were they taken?